with an unbeaten home record. Polish youngster Lukasz Fabianski makes his Premier League debut at the Emirates. Back four's unchanged from the win at Derby. Alex Song again preferred to Filip Senderos. Cesc Fabregas ruled out by injury on the day he celebrates his 21st birthday. Gilberto replaces him. And with Robin van Persie also injured, Arsenal go with the heavyweight attacking partnership of Emmanuel Adebayor and Nicholas Bendtner. Jens Lehmann is on the subs bench, almost certainly his last appearance for Arsenal at the Emirates. No attacking options for Arsene Wenger.
Well, the names sometimes change, but the system and the attitude stays the same. Bit different though, having said that, with Gilberto in the side, you know he will hold a bit more and sit in front of that defence, and actually that's probably the kind of protection Arsenal's defence could have done with at times this season. Unlike the other top four sides, he does get left exposed sometimes by the very nature of Arsenal's attacking style. Second but last game of the season now, and a couple of kids in here I think who can give Arsene Wenger something to think about over the summer. Theo Walcott on that left hand side, he's gradually gained in confidence over the last few weeks, but another dynamic performance here would help him no end, I think. And same goes for Nicholas Bendtner. Only his sixth start, a goal here wouldn't do him any harm at all.
Well, now Everton, Tim Howard needs one more clean sheet to equal the club record set by Neville Southall. Tony Hibbert returns at right back. That allows Phil Neville to move into a five-man midfield, a system Everton have used frequently away from home this season. Andrew Johnson is given the role of lone attacker, with Yakubu on the subs bench alongside Victor Anichebe, another option if David Moyes needs to switch to 4-4-2.
Well, he has done this a lot of times, David Moyes, five in midfield with just the one up front. Obviously thinks that Andy Johnson, he's better suited to that lone striker role than Yakubu, with his work rate and ability to work those channels. Leon Osman looks the most likely to lend support from that position in the middle. But first and foremost, I think Everton do not want to get overrun in an area where Arsenal always have so much movement and of course so much ability in the middle of the park. Been a lot of star performance this season from these players, a lot of stalwarts who've been here week in, week out. Signs lately that they're getting just a little bit weary, but you do know you're going to have to work very hard to earn your corn against this side.
Well, yesterday's result at Old Trafford ended any slim hopes Arsenal had of winning the title. So for the second year in a row, the impressive trophy room here at the Emirates will remain empty. And that's ironic because I think Arsenal are probably the second favourite team of most football fans. They play in a style that has earned them legions of admirers throughout the country, but sadly for them, you don't get points for playing entertaining football. Alan, you've played for Arsenal, you know the philosophy of the club. Do you think they will change after another season without a major prize?
Change their philosophy?
Correct.
No, I think as long as Arsene Wenger is at this football club, that philosophy will remain. Now, listening to him in that interview just a couple of minutes ago, he does appreciate the need for a little bit more defensive resolve. That's what's let them down. Only Manchester United have scored more goals. That certainly hasn't been a problem, and it won't be a problem in the future. They just need to tinker a little bit, I think, with the way that they defend against the opposition.
No two clubs in English football have enjoyed more years at the top than Arsenal and Everton. Wealth may count for more than history these days, but it's still a fixture with an enduring appeal. In a week when Europe has made the headlines, Arsenal aim for the Champions League without needing to qualify. Everton are desperate for another crack at the UEFA Cup. The Gunners, fresh from firing six at Derby. The Blues back to their best in a thriller against the Villa. We're live at the Emirates.
Oh, play that trick. I was listening there.
Land Rover Sport by Land Rover.
Aren't you going to say anything?
£10 top-up, please.
Now with longer between T-Mobile top-ups, you'll be missed.
Precious stuff. Time just keeps ticking away, doesn't it? Shame to waste it, doing things you don't like. So, how about this? A limo direct to an exclusive check-in area. Straight through your own private security channel, as you do. Leaving you more time in here, doing things you do like. Yep, precious stuff. Time. Talking of which, must fly.
Stand by.
After years of pushing top athletes to their limits, we understand the fine line between winning and losing. Sometimes it's just a few millilitres.
Looking to save money on your car insurance? Visit GoCompare.com.
Just tell them everything your policy has to have. They'll compare the best prices from loads of insurance companies and show you which quotes come with everything you've asked for using their special 5-star rating.
So visit GoCompare.com.
Why go compare anywhere else?
If you want to see the climax to the Championship season, then retune to Sky Sports 2. It's Premier League football all the way on Sky Sports 1. 2 matches. Later it's Liverpool and Manchester City. Right now from the Emirates, Arsenal and Everton, who need just a point from this to be secure of 5th place and UEFA Cup football next season. Commentators, former Gunners centre-forward Alan Smith and Alan Parry.
Thanks, Richard. Everton's mascots today, 13 years old Daniel Prentice and his 10-year-old sister Scarlett, great-grandchildren of the legendary Dixie Dean. 80 years ago this week, Dixie scored his 60th league goal of the season to set a record that will surely never be beaten. And he set that record, would you believe, with a hat-trick on the final day of the season against Arsenal. Arsenal have won more points and scored more goals against Everton than against any other team in Premier League history. They won 4-1 at Goodison just after Christmas, and a 7-0 victory at Highbury 3 years ago remains the Gunners' biggest win and Everton's heaviest defeat of the Premier League era. This present-day Everton team will get the match underway, although it is a false start. Much more resilient, of course, but Arsenal are in the mood to carry on where they left off against Derby and sign off their season in style here at the Emirates on a pitch that, as usual, is looking more like August than May. Osman back in the Everton side after injury problems, earning them the first corner of the game.
No lack of ambition by the number of players they've sent up, both centre-halves. Lescott as well, always a danger.
Certainly is, with 9 goals this season. He was moving menacingly towards that. He can stay in the 6-yard box, but again, Arsenal deal with the cross. Neville back in midfield, remember, today. He has been playing at right back in recent weeks. Here's Denilson, a Brazilian heart to the Arsenal midfield. Walcott took it in his stride, but a little bit heavy with that first touch. Everton's only win in their last 7 games was against the bottom club Derby. They've lost out against their rivals Liverpool in the battle for 4th place. Now they continue the battle to clinch 5th. They need just 1 point to do so. Hoping to qualify for Europe for the 3rd time in the last 4 seasons. And they win the free kick here. Foul on Leon Osman. Lescott. Back to Jagielka, who's had a wonderful first season at Goodison after his move from Sheffield United. Early test there for Howard. Didn't really appreciate the back pass.
I nearly made you eat your words then. Phil Jagielka with a pretty short one, making Tim Howard move his feet pretty sharpish. Just get him warmed up.
Bendtner to Toure. And the Dane has to go back to Gallas. Alongside him here, Alex Song, the Cameroon international, who started the last 4 Premier League games, the 20-year-old. Most of his appearances for Arsenal have been in midfield. Gallas. On again to Toure, who's played over 40 games for Arsenal this season, and of course served his country, the Ivory Coast, in the Africa Cup of Nations. Busy season for him. Now the longest serving Arsenal player, by the way. He's been here 6 years. Lescott accidentally collided there with Aboué as he headed that out of play. Adebayor's layoff to Toure. Gallas. Song again. Many people claiming that this is not really an important game for Arsenal, but every club likes to sign off in style for their final home game. And of course there is the incentive of the possibility of finishing 2nd. Remember, positions 1 and 2 in the Premier League qualify automatically for the group stages of next season's Champions League. 3 and 4 have to go through the qualifying competition.
Well, that is important as well for a manager, isn't it? Because you're organising your pre-season around that when you've got to be properly up to speed, and you certainly have in a Champions League qualifier. So a chance for Arsenal, perhaps, if they don't take the foot off the gas, to finish in 2nd place. Chelsea do slip up.
Pienaar's cross overhit. The South African is now signed permanently for Everton after his successful loan from Borussia Dortmund.
A good season though, hasn't he? He's just lent a bit of craft to that midfield with Arteta often on the other side, given something different to Everton. Really settled in quickly.
An early touch for the young Poland international, Lukas Fabianski. He's only 23. Made his Premier League debut on Monday at Derby. Clichy, who's had an outstanding season at left-back for Arsenal. One of their players in the PFA's team of the season for the Premier League. Arsenal, ironically, getting more men in that team than any other side in the land. Ironic that they haven't got anything to show for that in terms of trophies. Over Bentner's head, away by Yobo. Picked up by Gilberto. Now Bendtner. Adebayor called for it early. 2 players who, if you believe the rumours, don't get on particularly well off the field.
I was looking at that pair at Derby actually on Monday, and once or twice Adebayor was just saying, yeah, good pass to Bendtner. There seems to have been a bit of a thaw in the relations. You've got to get on in the dressing room, otherwise there's no future.
Did you have any enemies when you were an Arsenal player?
Everyone loved me.
That's what I thought. And if not, we'll read about it in your autobiography, no doubt. Version 3, that is. The Nielsen. It's a little bit tight there for Clichy. Hibbert's interception, Carsley brings it away. Just misplaced the pass for Pienaar. Toure looking for Bendtner, far post. Good ball for Lescott. The only Everton player who's figured in every game for them this season. Fernandez. A bit too enthusiastic with that ball, out to Hibbert.
Well, it's the kind of game where I think the game has got to lift the fans rather than the other way around. It is end of season and sat back in the seats waiting for something to cheer. When you're the home side, Arsenal obviously have the onus, the responsibility to do that and make sure they keep their tempo up. Everton will be content to sit there, see how things develop.
Well, they're certainly in form, Arsenal. Their 6-2 victory at Derby was their biggest away win for 9 years, and they've now scored 72 goals in the Premier League. Only Manchester United have scored more. Denilson. On to Touré. Now Gallas. His Song. Walcott. Hibbert in very quickly, and he's going to need to be against Walcott's pace. He just caught him. Free kick.
Yeah,
through today, Alan Wiley, by the way.
They want to push right onto Walcott, not let him turn, because he gets a run at Hibbert. Hibbert's got no chances. No defender really I can think of would have a chance with Walcott in a straight chase.
Aboué. Bendtner. Well, this is typical Arsenal football, isn't it? Brilliant one-touch stuff. Lescott just stopped Bendtner, turning it into a more dangerous position.
There's a lovely little flick actually inside from Bendtner into the path of Adebayor, who returned the fade, slipping the ball back towards Bendtner. Didn't quite work out at that time, but an example, however, how they have worked together over the last couple of weeks.
Adebayor wouldn't sit down quickly enough for him, but he's found Denilson. Now Clichy. Denilson again. Along the ground for Nicholas Bendtner. A bit heavy though. Came off his shin pad. Song got well. He's not the biggest to play at centre-back, but he got up extremely well then. Caught Osman in the process.
He doesn't have to be the biggest today either, does he? Against Andy Johnson and Osman coming on. Pienaar, there's not much height at all in that forward six.
What a run here by Aboué. Adebayor takes the defender away. Gilberto on quickly to his young protege, if you like, Denilson. And even Walcott's pace wasn't going to enable him to catch up with that ball. Friends reunited, perhaps?
Well, they're probably not bosom buddies, but I think you've got to work together when you're picked. And you can see there, they are actually talking.
It's a start, isn't it?
It is a start.
Osman trying to make headway down that right-hand side for Everton. Came back against Villa last week after a couple of games out with a hip injury, Leon Osman, who needs just one goal for the highest total of his career. He's on 7 at the moment. Hibbert. Yobo, who scored in that terrific match against Aston Villa. Offside here, Johnson.
Well, 10 minutes gone and the game has settled into a pattern I think that we're probably going to get used to for the remainder of this match, or at least the first half, and whether David Moyes does decide to change it, but finding it hard to get the ball into Johnson and support. The ball keeps coming back. Hard word for those Everton defenders.
Well played here from Theo Walcott. Hibbert's got back though to prevent the early cross. Clichy. and offside given. Referee Wiley has acknowledged that and allowed play to go on, quite rightly. Lescott, has he got the pace to get away from Abue? Well, he did have. He didn't take the ball with him.
He had a quick glance up and he knew Andy Johnson was his only option, but he couldn't find him, so he had to try and keep it.
Everton have suffered just 6 defeats in 18 away games this season. It's their best form on the road since they won the championship 21 years ago. Bendtner with the clever little flick for Nielsen. Now Walcott. Bendtner dispossessed this time. Osman. Pienaar. The early ball to try and utilise the pace of Johnson, but Gallas is no slouch either. He hesitated for a moment, Fabianski. Neville with the header. The Everton captain gets it back. Carsley, another who's had a very consistent season for the Blues. And he finds Osman. Good interception by Song, though. Fernandez.
You can see them having a lot of the ball in this kind of area, Everton, because they have got the extra man in midfield. But they look up and only one target in Andy Johnson.
Abue has Adebayor to his right. Toure. Bendtner shows for the ball and was given time to turn. Walcott helping it out to Clichy. Got a little header. Theo Walcott again. Nielsen. And it opens up for Walcott to hit the shot.
And that's what he's going to need, isn't it, against the mass ranks of Everton's defence. One player against another. Beat a man and have a shot. I think he's trying to get his foot around this. Whether it's a bit of a toe poke in the end, he certainly doesn't get the curl on it that he was after.
He scored in the 6-2 win at Derby, his 6th goal of the season. Give it back to Yobo. Carsley making a break down the centre. He called for the ball. He's still in a good position if he's onside, and he is. Or did the linesman wait to see if he made a move towards the ball? I think he did. He's just checking whether it was him or Johnson that was given offside. It matters not.
Yeah, almost got in the way of Andy Johnson there, Carsley.
Bendtner the target here. Yobo equal to him. Fernandez finds Osman. Johnson hasn't seen much of the ball in this opening 15 minutes. And that could be a pattern that's repeated for quite a time in this match.
Well, he's got to keep moving, be a moving target for his teammates, but they have got players that can interchange positions. Pienaar coming inside and Osman drifting.
There's Bendtner. Walcott in a good position here. Adebayor wants it to the far post, and Lescott defended exceptionally well.
Yeah, it was probably the wrong option, that one from Theo Walcott. 2 men round him. Adebayor just to try his luck again with a shot.
Now, did Johnson fall over Gallas, or was he tripped? The referee said play on.
Oh, one of those accidental tangles of ankles, I think.
Alex Song for Arsenal. Gilberto deep inside his own half, and that creates space ahead of him for Song. And now Toure. Abue. Everton with 10 men back behind the ball. And you can't blame them. Remember, 1 point will do it for Everton in terms of that UEFA Cup place. They can't finish lower than 6th. However, if they were to lose here today, then that battle for 5th would go to the final day.
Yeah, and the last thing you want is to concede early on. Saw what happened to West Ham at Old Trafford yesterday when that happened.
No way through for Toure.
They can keep things nice and tight. First half hour or so, they can begin to show a little bit more ambition, but if they maintain that clean sheet, they've got that point, haven't they, that they need.
Everton at home to Newcastle next Sunday, by the way, whilst Villa are away to West Ham. Should it come to that. Clichy, Adebayor's flick, just got it wrong. Well anticipated by Joseph Yobo. Arsenal have it back though with Nicholas Bendtner, and a clever ball over the top. Well, there was always going to be a difficult header to execute for Gilberto.
Well, it was, but it was the right choice from Nicholas Bendtner. Nice bit of vision from the striker. It's the only choice really. It's not far off at all. Good run from Gilberto. It's on the stretch. There's no slouch in the air, but that one was too much for him.
He scored in the last home game against Reading, his first goal of the season, in fact. And Clichy has got Johnson closing him down here. How calm and cool was that? Walcott. Oh, it's good football, this. And Clichy has kept on running. And he very nearly kept it in play as well. His stamina is amazing.
It is, and it's a great example of the way that they insist on playing out from the back. And there's been a few examples this season where they've paid for that, but it is still wonderful to watch. They refuse to just hoof it upfield.
Do you think the average Arsenal fan is quite content with that, even if they do go another season, which they're going to, of course, without a trophy? Are they happy to come and watch this style of football?
Yeah, I mean, I think you can't go on indefinitely, can it? A club this size, and with the talent available, I think that's the important point. When you consider how close that they did come to achieving some great things this season, both in Europe and the Premier League, the fans, quite naturally, will be expecting Arsene Wenger just to make the next step now. Make 1 or 2 additions to his squad, the right kind, to bolster them, make them more durable. And there's every chance that next season could go 1 step further.
Gallas comes out with the ball and keeps it. Well played, Gallas. And he's still running. And he goes down, and the referee was perfectly placed to say goal kick.
There'll be a bit of contact from Phil Neville, who was trying to clamber around Gallas. Again, I think there's a tangle of feet.
Sigh of relief, though, for the Everton skipper.
I think the fact was Gallas was going nowhere. Shouldn't make a difference, actually, but he had no chance of latching onto the ball.
Here is Neville. Now Hibbert. Yobo, who was once rumoured to be joining Arsenal in his days at Marseille in the French League. Jagielka. Yobo goes long for Carsley. Hibbert, Neville. Now Fernandes. And Everton prove that they can pass the ball as well. Not going anywhere at the moment. Now they might, but the ball aimed at Carsley.
He's making a few forward runs, Lee Carsley. Normally just sits there, taking it upon himself to try and support Andy Johnson. Not having much luck so far, Everton, in that direction.
Arsenal's measured build-up begins again, now in long to Adebayor. Osman for Everton. Happy to win the throw.
He does that well, drifts off the shoulder of his centre-half. Got a goal against Reading last time here by doing that. Gives his teammates a target. He's done it all season, Adebayor.
Johnson, good hold-up play from him. Neville turned away from Bendtner. Osman in trouble. Danielson. Bendtner. Now Gilberto. Boué moving in from the right touchline, and maybe he should have stayed out there. He's not in a great deal of hurry to get back. Pino. Fernandez. That's a good ball for Osman. No free kick. Pino. Fernandez. This is Hibbert. And the final ball meant for Johnson, just a bit too much on it. Goal kick.
I think David Moyes' game plan is working out pretty much as he would have hoped at the start. They are difficult to break down. I don't think he would have expected Andy Johnson or indeed any of his players to be able to create too many chances, but he's making it hard for Arsenal first and foremost. He's done that a few times in the past.
Everton have only conceded 15 goals in their 18 away games. Chelsea, the only team in the Premier League who can beat that defensive record. Bendtner's flick, and it's come back to him. Boué. Good challenge by Jagielka. Nothing wrong with that. He's complaining, but neither linesman nor referee saw anything wrong. Well, it's lacked the usual pace and bite of most Premier League fixtures, but I guess in the circumstances for both clubs, that's understandable.
Well, it's that intensity, isn't it, that is lacking. Needs something to liven it up, whether it's a goal from one of the sides, or a run or shot, or even a little bit of a spat, an argument, just to give this game an edge, a bit of aggression.
Gallas to Bendtner. Gilberto. Here's Danielson. A little more urgency required, perhaps, from Arsenal. Here's one man who can help provide it. But this time, Adebayor loses out to Hibbert.
Well, they have got the choice, Arsenal, of going a little bit more direct if they want, with Adebayor and Bendtner, the two centre-forwards today. You'd fancy them to win the fair share of headers. I know it goes against the grain with Arsenal, but they have done it this season once or twice, just back to front in that one ball, as he's tried there, William Gallas.
Here's Jagielka. I'm not sure what he was trying there, but whatever it was, it went horribly wrong. Well, there's no question that Arsenal are under strength at the moment. Hleb on the left of the picture there, still suspended. Fabregas with a slight groin injury. Flamini, well, who knows what his future holds here at the Emirates. Certainly the fans are aware of the need for celebration for Cesc Fabregas, even though he can't play. 21 today.
He's a veteran now, isn't he, Cesc Fabregas? It seems like he's been around for ages. It's a big miss to take him out of the side, and it is to lose Hleb as well. He's been great this season.
Fabregas just a couple of games short of 200 appearances for Arsenal at the age of 21. That's a remarkable statistic. If he stays here for a long time, heaven knows how many he could rack up.
I'm sure Arsene Wenger will be hoping that he can keep hold of Hleb and Flamini. Talking about this before the match, and the wage structure that they've got here, sometimes it leaves players vulnerable to other teams coming in and offering more money to players that have done well, and Flamini and Hleb certainly have done well here. Alerted some of the big guns in Europe. The last thing you want, though, Takes a bit of a momentum away if you lose some of your best players.
Toure, strong enough to withhold the first challenge and find Adebayor. Here's Fernandez, clever. And on for Johnson. Now he can use his pace. Fabianski hesitated, but in the end made a good save. It's come back out to Pienaar, who should have done better. And Arsenal were all over the place for a moment.
I say it was the best chance by far. I think it was the only chance for Everton. It is a lovely bit of play by Manuel Fernandez to release Johnson. This time he can stretch his legs. That's a good save, you know, from Fabianski. Really is with his right foot. The first thing he's had to do, and that might have crept in the far corner.
He was voted goalkeeper of the year in his own country in 2 successive seasons, the young Poland international. And he was struggling for a moment then. Needed a bit of help, and might again. Saves the day.
Oh, completely free header for Phil Jagielka.
Whoops. While you were watching that, there was a curious incident involving Lescott and the goalkeeper. We'll come back to that. Goalkeeper had the ball in his hands, and Lescott decided to take action, and that's why the referee's taking action.
Well, I don't think you can get away with that. He's saying he's only got it in one hand, but that is deemed dangerous play, Jolene, I'm afraid.
Subtle it wasn't.
I've seen that clip of George Best for Northern Ireland that year when he's nicked it away from the keeper, but the ball's in the air then. Going back a long way, I've got to say. But
Crosby, Nottingham Forest, remember that one all those years ago?
Dion Dublin at Coventry, I think. Keeper rolled it out.
Goalkeepers have to be aware of what's going on around them. And Gallas does here. So Everton have come closest in what's been a fairly stale opening 20 minutes here to taking the lead. And Toure drives one into the feet of Adebayor. Well, they are known as a team who can put together 20 passes in a move. That was one, and it almost produced a goal.
Well, talking about that back-to-front pass, and Toure tried it there. He's right on the edge of being offside. Joseph Yobo certainly thought he was, Adebayor.
Well, it's livened up.
It needed something, we spoke about that. A little bit of action to wake up the fans and the players.
Osman, first-time ball. Carsley, Pienaar. Johnson's up with him. It's Johnson almost getting in between goalkeeper and defender, and he's claiming a deliberate back pass.
I think Alan Wiley actually said it came off Andy Johnson last, but that's definite back pass from William Gallas. He's just tapped it back to Fabianski. Alan Wiley, I think, pointed to Johnson's foot. But you know exactly what Gallas is doing there.
Well, everyone, apart from the referee, I think, convinced that Everton might have had a free kick then. Came off his shin, fair enough, but did he know what he was doing? There's that other long ball again for Adebayor.
It would have been a big call, wouldn't it? A free kick deep inside Arsenal's penalty area, but I think he's got away with that one, William Gallas.
Pienaar. It's almost as though Everton have thought to themselves, well, this is a formidable Arsenal side. We can't go too gung-ho against them. Now they've realised, hang on, we could do something special here. And they're forcing Arsenal back, even though Lescott's given it away here. And that means space in the middle of the field, which there hasn't been for most of the opening half hour. Walcott to take on Hibbert. But not to beat him. What a good tackle by Hibbert. And Johnson will keep running here. Not many quicker than Clichy, though. Aboué. Bendtner. Back for Abue. Howard hesitated. And just got enough on the shot.
I thought Abue hesitated as well for a split second. He's not done too much raiding up the right-hand side, but moves in here. He just takes his foot off the gas a touch to let Yobo get across.
Song and Gilberto jogging into the Everton penalty area. Bendtner makes a more determined run, and it was Gilberto's header.
All of a sudden, we've got a bit of action at both ends, but they're still talking about that, Anthony Johnson in particular. Definite back pass for me. What else can Gallus be trying here, apart from trying to just usher it back to the keeper? He's 5 yards away.
Got away with it. Song's header has dropped short. Gallus is going to have to intervene again. Very good. Very good. Good ball as well from Clichy. Oh. Strong challenge by Kolo Touré. Built like an oak tree, that guy. You ought to bounce off him. Here's Abue. Oh dear. Wrong wavelength then with Bendtner. Here's Pino. Just beginning to show signs of frustration, the home fans here.
Well, I don't think they're happy with Emmanuel Abue because he spent a couple of seconds demonstrating with Bendtner when he needs to get back into position. That's twice now he's done that, switched off as soon as he's lost it.
Strange you say that, because Arsene Wenger in his programme notes today says quite publicly that he feels that there's still 20% more to come out of Adebayor, and he's not quite sure how to get it.
Well, it's a frightening thought for opposing defenders. 30 goals for him so far. He's led the line single-handedly at times. He is onside, actually. I think it's Jagielka keeping him on. Great position he took up. Had to take it quickly. Not an easy chance for him.
Now Clichy goes long. Bendtner the target this time. Soaring header. Abue. Should have done better, really. I mean, you'll correct me if I'm being unkind here, Alan, but Abue always strikes me as a right-back playing right midfield.
Well, I don't think he's been brought up as a right-back. I think his defensive qualities were the reason, or the lack of defensive qualities, the reason that Arsene Wenger decided to bring in another right-back in Sanya, who's done really well. I think on the front foot, that's where his strengths lie. Emmanuel Abue with his energy, his stamina and his strength.
Well, he might go and prove me wrong here with a mazy run and a blistering finish. He didn't. Fernandez, Osman. Flicked off the heel of Gallas, so Song's got to control that one, otherwise it's a corner. Goal kick. He's Mr. Angry at the moment,
He has, he's got the hump. Every time it breaks down, he spends the next few seconds moaning about it. Really eating him up today. He's not a happy bunny. That's the thing with the lad. Sometimes the red mist descends and he just gets consumed by his own game. Discipline-wise, he can let himself down on his teammates.
Gilberto kicks out Adebayor. And the foul by him on Yobo. ball for Fernandez. Had to crouch to control it. Johnson. Neville. More sharpness about Everton's play. Rather languid and relaxed at the moment, the home side. Fernandez tries his luck.
Plenty of men forward there, ahead of Fernandez. 3 of them lined up.
Don't forget, this is the first of a Premier League double-header for you on Sky Sports today. Next, we're off to Anfield, Liverpool against Manchester City, Sky Sports 1. The build-up begins at 3:30. And then a crucial game at St James's Park tomorrow on Sky Sports 1 and high definition. Newcastle against Chelsea. Again, the build-up begins half an hour before kickoff.
It's been a good half's work from Everton so far. Everybody's done the jobs that he would have asked them to. He spoke beforehand about possibly putting Yakubu on later on in the match to give them something different.
It's got out, the linesman's flagged. Well, another season without a trophy will hurt for the most successful manager in Arsenal's history. But he has gone out of his way to say how pleased he is with his team's efforts this season and how he feels so optimistic about the future. Arsenal have finished either first or second in 8 consecutive seasons under Wenger. No wonder they trust him. A disappointing 4th last season, of course. As I mentioned before, they can still finish second unless they lose today. Neville. Hibbert. Song's doing a pretty good job for a makeshift centre-back.
He's a lot of people maybe think that's his position, his long-term position. Whether he can establish himself in this Arsenal side is another matter entirely. He's filled in well for them.
Hibbert getting forward for Everton. Here's Abue. Toure thought about hitting it early there for Adebayor, and in the end that's what he does.
There's a game of cat and mouse between Adebayor and Yobo. Him trying to stay on side, the Arsenal striker. Yobo trying to catch him off. Good little battle between those two.
Jagielka. Caution. 5 minutes before half-time. You'd expect that. Just to remind you, 1 point will be enough for Everton to finish 5th and qualify for the UEFA Cup again. They got to the final 16 of that competition this season with an excellent record. They were unlucky to go out. Neville. Oh, not often he gives the ball away that sloppily. Gilberto to Danielson. Clichy making ground down the left. He's gone short for Adebayor. Now Clichy. Danielson. Gilberto never far away. And space has opened up again for Abue. And again, I'm afraid he's wasted it. Oh, what a ball over the top for Johnson against Gallas. Good foot race this. Held it up well. Neville onto Carsley. Hibbert playing with a great deal of assurance and confidence here, Everton.
They've got so much experience though, haven't they, within this side. A lot of nous.
Adebayor fighting a lone battle against the Everton defence here, and one he has lost.
Well, Yobo's making it his mission to, wherever Adebayor drifts, he'll be the one to go across with that extra bit of pace of his.
Pienaar to Osman, a lovely ball for Lescott. In first time, Johnson was arriving, but Son got there first.
It's turned into a fairly even contest after that initial 15 minutes when it was all Arsenal. Grown into this first half, Everton.
William Gallas. Bendtner. Only Adebayor ahead of him. Walcott has arrived now. He still had to go back to Gilberto. And the groans are growing louder around the Emirates. Clichy. 60-odd thousand Arsenal fans have come here expecting to see their team put on a show for their final home game of the season, and up to now they've been disappointed. Nielsen lifts one high, Adebayor's in there. Lescott clears. Held it up well there, Kolo Touré. Looked as though he was losing out, and Aboué, who's had a half to forget, has given it away.
The fans getting on his back now, Aboué. He's getting more and more wound up.
Kolo Touré. Good run from Adebayor. Bendtner in the centre. And he's won the corner off Neville.
Now, well played, Phil Neville. He knew Jagielka was struggling there, one-on-one, and just sprinted across to help out.
Nielsen just waiting for Gallas to make a late run into the penalty box. And the free header for Gilberto.
Oh, should have done better, I think. It was a free header. He's good in the air. Just mistimes it. Ducking a touch too early on it there, Gilberto.
And struggling to keep that in play, and may regret that he managed to do so, but Everton have it back with Hibbert. Now Leon Osman. Pienaar. Lescott getting forward to support him. Yobo. Now Fernandez. First time ball into the path of Hibbert, and a first time cross from him. Song dealt with it well. Here's Bendtner, and what could be the final Arsenal attack of the half. Walcott to his left. Now Denilson. That's excellent play by the young Brazilian. To get this right for his own sake, Aboué. Not bad. Gilberto decides to chip it in rather than shoot. Touré. Now Aboué. That's a good ball out of Adebayor. Well, it just shows you if you're patient, it'll come right for you in the end. Not for him on this occasion, but for Aboué.
No, just got half a yard, and Joseph Yobo, now Adebayor, the two stuck together as they have been all half, but he's in front of Yobo here. It was a good ball. Can't get enough on it. A decent chance.
Half-time at the Emirates. A 0-0 scoreline, a rare event here. Emmanuel Adebayor had the opportunity to change that in the final seconds of the half. The man who scored a hat-trick as a substitute at Derby on Monday, heading just wide. Apart from that, there weren't too many concerns for either goalkeeper, it has to be said. It's been a little bit flat so far. I'm sure it'll improve in the second half. Goalless at the Emirates at the interval.
Halfway towards the first goalless draw between these two for 95 years.
In every single home game, though not always by Arsenal. They failed to score in a 1-0 defeat here against West Ham just over a year ago. That's the only time they've lost in 54 matches in this stadium. Very warm day here for the final home game of this season for the Gunners. Arsenal, even if they're not firing on all cylinders, still such a difficult team to beat, with just 3 defeats in the Premier League this season, and all of those, as I've mentioned, have been away at Middlesbrough, Chelsea and Manchester United. It's Arsenal who get the second half underway in the sunshine. Clichy, whoops, a rare error from him.
I was just going to say, Arsenal, from their point of view, needed a nice, bright opening to this second half to set the tempo, to lift themselves. The further that first half wore on, the more confident Everton became. They weren't having too many problems at the back and beginning to look a threat up the other end.
Busy and lively Osman. Lescott. Looking for the run from Carsley, who almost got a touch. Fabianski's kick, not the best. Jagielka heads away. And Song beaten in the air for once. Here's Pinar up against Toure. Neville. Leaves it again to the South African international. Lescott, clever. And strong when he needed to be as well, Lescott. Gallas just about prevents the corner. Here's Adebayor. Yobo always breathing down his neck. Clichy. Adebayor's still running. And almost got in behind Yobo. Whoops. Howard took that one up round the chin somewhere. Walcott now for Arsenal. Bendtner. Bendtner can't believe he got that so wrong.
They got a nick off an Everton player. It's a corner.
Very fortunate one.
Brilliant play actually from Adebayor just before that. He tried to take it by the scruff of the neck, laid it off and sprinted good 50 yards to try and get on the end of it again, and that's what caused Tim Howard to come out of his box.
Bendtner just fails to get a telling touch, but Aboue's there to retrieve possession. Now Walcott. Gallas on mark far post. Decided to drive it back in, and that earns a corner.
Oh, very nearly made a big hash of this, Everton. He could have brought it down, actually, Gallas. Yobo kicking it straight into the face of Neville.
Gallas sees the funny side. Neville marking him very closely as Walcott delivers a very good corner in. Toure. Gilberto. Back to Aboué. Just seems to have lost all confidence in himself at the moment, Aboué. Bentner's header. Walcott to Song. First time I've seen him this far forward in the game. Adebayor given room to turn. And dig one out for Bendtner. Yobo clears. The pressure remains on Everton, though. Kyle Clichy. Gilberto. Gets it back from Touré. And Everton again with 10 behind the ball. Got to stay patient here, Arsenal. Now Bendtner delivers, and Yobo had to head behind.
They're just pushing on a few more players now in the second half. And Arsenal, I'm sure Arsene Wenger has just encouraged them to do that, to try and lift themselves.
Well, left unmarked momentarily, surprisingly. Here's Aboué. Gilberto. And the cross knocked away by Pinar for another Arsenal corner.
It might have been a handball. Ball shot up off his thigh, Pinar's.
Quickly taken to the Nielsen. Potentially dangerous ball whipped in, but Howard has dealt with the problem. And a good early throw out as well. Fernandez tries to lift it round Clichy. You won't beat him for pace. Song. Arsenal slow it again. Touré. Walcott switched over to the right for the moment anyway.
No, he couldn't get into the game in that first half. Everton dealt well with him. I think he's going to come back across to the left now, but spoke about him before the game, Theo Walcott. Made some improvements, but he needs to keep doing that.
Calm defending by Garas. Gilberto. There's Aboué. Touré remaining ahead of him now in a slight change of positions. Fernandez. Sloppy ball. Gilberto trying to play it early for Adebayor. Yobo was equal to it, and it was chest, not hand. Lescott. Here's Carsley. Pinar seems to be having a bit of a problem with his boots there. He was on the ground a moment ago, retying them. Jagielka. Fernandez. This is Hibbert. Well, he has made himself unpopular with some fans with some of the outspoken comments he's made, Jens Lehmann, but he still gets a very generous round of applause warming up. I wonder if we'll see him at some stage of this game. On the field, that is.
Blimey, Aboué again, giving the ball away. You're right, Alan, he's playing with no confidence at all at the moment.
And ball against Andrew Johnson. Garas. Here's Song. Clichy decides there was nothing on going forward. Arsenal, by the way, are at Sunderland on the final day of the season, hoping to get some of the injured players back, I'm sure, although most of them are out now until next season. The likes of Eduardo and Sanya, Diaby, Rosicki, Kleb, who's suspended today, remember. No Van Persie. No Fabregas today either. It's a long list of top quality players missing. And Everton remain pretty comfortable in this game. Not exactly in control of it, but certainly not on the back foot. Osman didn't need to say anything to his teammate then, did he? The look said it all.
No, more often than not, their passing's been good, though. Everton's, they've worked it well in the middle of the park, where they've had a A little numerical advantage.
Walcott hemmed in by 2 Everton men, and then a poor ball by Denilson.
Well, their passing hasn't been as good as you'd expect. Arsenal. It's been sloppy at times. Hasn't had that zip to it.
Walcott, not where he wants to be, facing his own goal. Song there to help him out. An extravagant ball which Toure had to pull out of the sky. Gallas. Still no real urgency about Arsenal's play. It has, in truth, an end-of-season feel about it from their point of view. Now things might change with Bendtner. Neville intercepts. It's broken loose for Gilberto. No foul, Pinar. Hibbert. Well, there are players sitting in the stands who I'm sure would have made this more entertaining and more adventurous from Arsenal's point of view.
Well, that's been their central midfield, hasn't it, for the great majority of the season. Fabregas and Flamini. You're bound to miss them.
Now Osman with a chance to get in the box here, and Pinar joining in. He just caught Gallas there by accident. Gallas pulled up. Maybe he thinks it wasn't an accident. Still struggling a bit, Gallas. Hibbert. Carsley. Now Pinar again. Looking for the right back, Hibbert. Stood up well to that challenge. Fernandez with the cross. And now it's Everton's turn to apply a bit of pressure as Yobo knocks it back in again. Carsley doing well, but the referee decides that was a foul.
I've just got that little bit more aggression in the challenges, Everton. At the moment, it's a lovely little ball by Pinar. A minute back. Really dangerous.
Nicholas Bendtner tried to return it to Aboué, but a corner it is.
From a set piece, have looked as likely as at any stage really to make the breakthrough, Arsenal.
Not the best set piece. Song. Looking for Adebayor. Hibbert got it away. Fernandez. Here's Pinar. He's got Johnson up ahead of him. Fernandez in support, and Osman. Carsley. Pinar turns the other way to try and shake off Denilson. Lescott. Osman takes over. And back to Julian Lescott. The Everton fans rise in anticipation in that corner of the stadium, but they can sit down again.
No, it's a cross shot, I think. It's not on target, hoping somebody's going to make the move and get on to the end of this. Sandy Johnson was the closest to it, but he's miles away in the end. He's ever so well Lescott up that left-hand side.
Well, just short of the hour mark, I'm sure David Moyes will be delighted at how his game plan has worked so far. 1 point to guarantee a place in Europe next season, and one more game left after this if it goes wrong today. Home to Newcastle next Sunday. Lescott. Not often he's caught in possession like that. He needed the help of Neville, but not with that second challenge. He didn't. That's put Everton back under pressure. Free kick.
He didn't really need to make the tackle either, Phil Neville.
Easily dealt with again by Everton. Carsley's clearance. Clichy. And whipped that straight against Hibbert, out for a throw-in. Everyone apart from Fabianski, well, Song's had to go back now to get the ball, but before that every single player was in the Everton half. Gilberto to Bendtner. Danielson. Here's Toure. Boué still with him. He looks long to Adebayor. Good header away. Yovo's had an excellent game. Johnson. Remember, Everton do have options if they decide to either give Johnson some company up front or give him a rest. They've got Yakubu and Anichebe on the bench.
No, you could maybe see that change coming in time, but Arsenal, on the other hand, haven't really got much they can do in an attacking sense. No strikers on the bench. Senderos, Giroud, two centre-halves, Traore with the left-back, Gibbs, the midfielder, the young lad. So there's not a whole lot he can do. He can switch it about positionally. Arsene Wenger maybe give Theo Walcott a chance through the middle to have a run at those two centre-halves, who have been pretty comfortable so far.
Jagielka. Osman can't get away from Gilberto. Arsenal can't keep possession though. And how often do you say that? Carsley. There's Hibbert. Now it's Clichy's turn to give it away. A thundering challenge. Hibbert comes out with the ball. Osman wants it played early, and he didn't get it early. And now Arsenal can break.
I just think Nicholas Bendtner's got to play a bit closer to Adebayor. We were talking in the early stages about how they were linking up, but they've been like strangers really for the majority of the first half, and now so much distance between the two that they can't link up.
Perhaps they've fallen out again.
Half-time maybe over a cup of tea.
Neville. Here's Fernandez. On to Hibbert. Good ball. Neville round the corner to Osman. Johnson already making ground. It's opened up though for Leon Osman. Gallas blocks the shot.
Yeah, he did well. A little feint going to pass it into Johnson, and then saw the gap and sprinted into it.
Prescott happy to earn a corner out of that. Best he could have hoped for. And that'll give the travelling Evertonians something to cheer in that corner of the Emirates.
Well, Arsenal gave him a bit of encouragement before the break. When Jagielka got through, you might remember, it got cleared off the line.
Yobo sort of turned away from the ball as it came towards him for some reason. And Carsley's hammered that straight at Clichy. Neville. Osman. This is Hibbert. It's not a bad cross. It wasn't easy at all.
No, he had to keep his eye on that one, Fabianski. Andy Johnson threatening close by.
Look at the space here for Theo Walcott. Hasn't used it well, though. Stephen Pienaar. Referee saw that as a foul, and there's an interesting statistic, Alan.
Yeah, seen lots of the ball, haven't they? Maybe not what we would have anticipated, but the way he's got them set up, David Moyes, they can dominate the middle ground. At the moment, looking the more threatening side.
Everton have won exactly half their Premier League fixtures this season, although they've only taken 6 out of the last 21 points available. What a fantastic job he has done, though, David Moyes, who is now, by the way, Everton's longest-serving manager since Harry Catterick. All the fans will remember his name, a legendary Everton manager of the 60s and 70s. Clichy. Denilson. Nielsen tried to thread it through. He was a bit too precise. And Gallas slightly misjudged that one, but recovered so well. Clichy. Nicholas Bendtner has had a quiet match. And into the path of Walcott if he can reach it. He did, but his control was a bit disappointing.
Yeah, he was just running out of pitch as well, wasn't he? Fast. He has struggled to get into it, Nicholas Bendtner.
Well, I said before, I wonder if we'll see Jens Lehmann on the field today, and it looks as though we are about to. No reflection, I'm sure, on Lukas Fabianski, more a gesture towards the experienced German goalkeeper, allowing him what I would think will be his final Arsenal appearance here at the Emirates. Pienaar. Here's Jagielka to Lescott. Boué closing down the space. Yobo, who scored his first goal of the season in the thriller against the Villa last week. His ball forward enables Carsley, and now Johnson to threaten. Goals didn't come late, of course, in that match at Goodison against Aston Villa. Maybe the same will happen today as we move into the final quarter of the final home game of the season for Arsenal. Pienaar. Neville now. Clichy's on a mad dash everywhere. Now he's back in his real position. Energy to burn, this boy. But his passing ability let him down then. Unusually so. Pienaar looking for Osman. Song got a foot in, but not sufficient to clear the danger. Fernandes. Now Neville. David Moyes out there on the touchline like a conductor of an orchestra, just telling each player what to do, and the ball comes to him.
There's not too much to worry about so far. Just wonder if that will change going into the last 20 minutes, whether this game will open up.
Well, Arsenal this season have scored a lot of goals late on in matches. Most of their goals have come in the second half of their games. Well, the changes are on the way now for Arsenal. Jens Lehmann needs no introduction. The young man alongside him you might not recognise, Armand Traoré. Fabianski comes off. His Arsenal future lies ahead of him. Jens Lehmann's, well, his future almost certainly lies elsewhere. He made his Premier League debut against Everton 5 years ago. It looks as though he's come full circle.
Yeah, and I think rightly so. The Emirates recognises what is an excellent keeper. I mean, you can say what you like about his theatrics, and there have been many during his time at Arsenal. But he is a top-notch keeper, and he was a big part of that unbeaten league run.
Huge applause as well for Kolo Touré, who will be replaced by Traoré, just 18, and only made his Premier League debut last month against Liverpool.
He's been a great professional, Jens Lehmann. A nice touch, I think, from Arsene Wenger, although he's probably regarded as a bit of a pain in the backside over the last few months with his comments. Nice touch to give him that farewell.
He's not a diplomat, is he? Osman has done well here. Now, was he knocked over? Referee shakes his head, and that's to start sprinting upfield when this young man is in possession. Boy, to Gilberto. 20 minutes to go. Everton needing a point to stamp their passport into Europe. Traoré. He's a left back, so it'll be interesting to see how he and Clichy combine.
Yeah, some pace down that left-hand side now for Hibbert and Fernandes to deal with, that's for certain. Penalty claim from Leon Osman. There's not too much in it, though. It's coming together with boots. He's done well, though, Osman. Drifted into some uncomfortable positions from Arsenal's point of view.
All the way out to Gallas, almost on the opposite corner flag. Everton have been absolutely rock solid at the back today. Another test on the way, perhaps, but no, Hibbert dealt with that very efficiently. Osman. Foul given, that looked a bit harsh against the Nielsen.
What a good season he's had as well at Everton, his debut season. Forming a good partnership with that boy who's been excellent today, up against Adebayor.
Good support from the flanks as well, from Hibbert and Lescott. Very professional Everton performance so far. They're on 62 points, which is already their highest for 20 years. Now Yobo had to intervene. Adebayor. And again. And Yobo there again to deny him. What about that? Quick feet from Fernandes, but has he played himself into trouble here? No, he hasn't. He's got a free kick.
That's interesting, isn't it? Fernandes comes into the English game and he's slotted into the David Moyes philosophy. He's done what his manager has asked, certainly today. He'd be in the team if he didn't follow orders. He's played his part the same as the other 10 lads have so far. Really disciplined performance from the away side.
Well, Arsenal have failed to score here in this beautiful stadium only once in 37 Premier League games. Is it going to become 2 in their final home game of this campaign? Hibbert. Johnson. Osman. And now Fernandes. Well, Traoré knew the moment he made that challenge what the outcome was going to be. Fernandes spotting it up. Hibbert is with him. Lescott and Jagielka making their way towards the 6-yard box. Straight into the keeper's hands, just where he wanted it. Good throw by Lehmann as well. Traore. Open the gates, he's on his way. Had to put the brakes on though. There's nothing ahead of him, not surprisingly. Danielson. Referee with an inadvertent 1-2. Gilberto to Clichy. And off he goes again, Traore. First time cross. Lescott with not the most complete header away. Walcott back to Aboué. Not really his day.
No, I don't think so. Just slipped as he tried to let go. I think he's done his calf now. I think he might just want to come off. Been one of those games where nothing has gone right.
Well, he'll almost certainly be needed for that final day visit to Sunderland. They're pretty short of bodies here.
I just wonder, don't you, if Flamini were to go, and even they've got to bring in a few if they're not going to be even weaker in terms of the squad size next season.
They clearly cannot compete financially with Manchester United and Chelsea, so in the light of that, they've done so well to stay so involved for so long. Walcott was convinced he was getting a free kick. Here's Gilberto for Arsenal. Nicholas Bendtner. Traore. Great ball! What a header! What a goal by Nicholas Bendtner! Did you really believe Arsenal weren't going to score?
Well, for a player that's been quiet, Nicholas Bendtner, he's got a great knack of arriving in the penalty area at just the right time. He actually started the move, nicking it out wide to Armand Traore. Thought he knocked it a little too far, but he does well with a touch, and this is probably the best cross of the match. Right on the plate for Bendtner, who gets up early. Defenders, not a chance when the delivery is as good as this, curling away from the Everton defenders onto the forehead of the Danish striker. A long time in coming, but it's there.
The 20-year-old scores his 9th goal of the season, 5 of them in the Premier League. And suddenly, the scenario has changed quite dramatically for Everton. Needing a point, remember, to finish 5th and qualify for next season's UEFA Cup. Aston Villa's hopes have been rekindled suddenly. Villa at West Ham next Sunday, the final day. Everton at home to Newcastle. And Walcott gets in behind Lescott.
Well, we should see a much better spectacle now as Everton try and push for the equaliser. Gaps opening up. Chances for the Arsenal lads as well.
Osman onto Johnson, one-on-one against Gallas, who was strong. Well, Everton have looked so comfortable throughout most of this game that goal has rocked them on their heels, coming so late on, and Arsenal maintaining their record for scoring in the final quarter of matches this season. And also making sure that there has still not been a goalless draw at the Emirates since they moved in. Adebayor to Traore, who played a key part in the build-up to the goal. Adebayor. I wonder now if David Moyes will change the shape of his team in the last 12, 13 minutes.
Yeah, Yakubu's downstairs, he's going to come on.
Pino's got away here and plays it to Osman. It was a difficult ball, he was always stretching Osman. Danielson. They don't need to force the issue now, Arsenal.
But you just
that initiative is down to Everton.
You just know that they will go for the second. Arsenal, that's the way that they're set up. He's fortunate, David Moyes. He's got a couple of strikers on the bench, and Ichibi as well.
And they're not going to stay on the bench for any longer. Yakubu and Anichebe about to be unleashed. Here's Traore. Bendtner. It's been a pretty quiet match up to now. I've got a feeling we could see a few fireworks in the last 10 minutes here. Bendtner has the scent of goal again. Neville. Ball hasn't gone out of play, so the Everton substitutes remain impatiently on the touchline. Fernandes. Good challenge by Song. He's had a very quietly impressive match. And finds Adebayor. Yogo's not missed much today. And now Everton can make those changes. On the left, Victor Anichebe, the 20-year-old Nigerian. And beside him, Yakubu. Lee Carsley, one of those coming off. Yakubu has gone 5 games without scoring, but he's on 19 goals. Andrew Johnson will make way for Anichebe, who is Everton's most used substitute this season. The 29th time he's come off the bench. A real beast of a player. He'll liven things up. Traore, Clichy, Adebayor, along the ground for Gilberto. Lescott tried to get out of the way, but did he succeed? He did. Goal kick.
He has struggled to get into it, but he scored a few of these this season. Tearing headers. Remember, he came off the bench, scored against Tottenham with his first touch. Similar type of finish. Congratulations from his strike partner. They haven't had much to shout about, those non-playing members of the squad.
Here he is again, Bendtner. Bilbo relieves him of possession. Lescott. Time against David Moyes' side now. Osman for them. Loses control. Traore to Danielson. Well, if they win, remember, in theory, Arsenal can still finish runners-up in the Premier League this season. Traore. Away by Hibbert. Just hurt himself, making the clearance as well. Now what do? Time running out. Clichy. Fernandes got a foot in, but it's still Arsenal in possession. Traore whips another good-looking ball in. He's done pretty well since he came off the bench.
Yeah, he has made a difference. Well, his pace and crossing ability.
Yet another of Arsenal's French connection. Yakubu making a break down the centre here. Song gets it clear, but only as far as Osman. Song's there again. He's done well. Gilberto. Adebayor. Song pumps that one forward for Walcott to chase. And he stood up well against the much more powerful Yakubu. Clichy couldn't go back to Lehmann. That route was cut off. And he did the right thing, didn't he?
Well, they've got a little bit more muscle now up front through Yakubu and Anichebe. Everton, so they can get the ball up and make the most of that these last 5 minutes or so.
Another capacity crowd of over 60,000 confirmed here at the Emirates as we move into the final 5 minutes of the season. At home anyway. Lescott gets a second chance. Neville. Fernandez. Osman. All of the options closely marked, so Everton play it patiently out again to Lescott on the left. Yakubu goes down. Referee says play on, with Fernandez lining up a shot. That was very optimistic. Walcott loves this situation. Defenders on the back foot. Adebayor. Bendtner again, edge of the box. Gets it back from Walcott and returns the favour. Well, the magnificent Yobo once again stops an Arsenal attack.
They did want to walk it in there, didn't they, Arsenal? Couldn't get his first touch right, Theo Walcott.
Here's Osman. Everton still looking for the goal that might bring them a point. The point that would bring them a place in Europe. But they've lost possession here to Gilberto.
Looking a bit jaded now, aren't they? Everton, given so much this season.
Traore. Oh! Well, he has made a dramatic entrance to this game, and it almost became more dramatic.
It would have been a goal and a half.
Never scored in Arsenal's first team. He hasn't played very often in it either. Senderos about to come on for the final few minutes.
They might be putting on him to join another two centre-halves to try and cope with Yakubu and Anichebe. Three centre-halves on there. He's done his fair share of running this season, hasn't he? Been a great campaign for Emmanuel Adebayor, it really has.
For Arsenal in around 100 appearances. Neville. Anichebe's header was good. Yakubu's shot was not. Incidentally, he needs one goal this season to reach 20 and become the first Everton player since Peter Beardsley 16 years ago to reach that target. Bendtner holding it up well. In the absence of Adebayor alongside him now. Traore. Neville for Everton. Here's Lescott. Back to Jagielka. Pino. Fernandez. We're moving towards the final minute here. Can Everton find a bit of magic late on? Pino. Oh, it almost broke for Anichebe. A very important interception there by Song. Everton have got an injury as Traore counter-attacks. Pienaar still down injured for Everton.
There was a vital interception as well from Alexander Song. Just in the midst of that, Pienaar took a knock. Just trod on his instep, Danielson. Really was a vital stop though from Song.
Well, he can be well pleased with his day's work. Arsenal seconds plus stoppage time away from maintaining their unbeaten home record.
I think from Everton's point of view, in many ways it'd be a great shame if they didn't get that 5th place, and that's with all due respect to Aston Villa. When you think about the campaign that they've had, gone a long way in Europe, the semi-finals of the Carling Cup, and a lot of these players have been there week in, week out. They've given it their all. To lose out at the death would be hard to take for them.
Late change here for Everton with Leighton Baines replacing Manuel Fernandes. Song's header away. And needs to be onto the bouncing ball. He's got Yakubu up with him. Gallas clears. Everton have got to get it back with urgency now. And the referee has given a free kick here to Arsenal's dismay. A couple of minutes of stoppage time remaining. Can Everton snatch an equaliser?
Well, they all appear, aren't they? Two centre-halves. Two big strikers.
And the header comes to Yobo, who blasted it so high it almost reached the second tier of this wonderful arena.
Oh, he's played his part, more than played his part, Joseph Yobo, defensively today. But he might have fell to a better player than that. With only a minute or so left.
Baines in at left back now and gets it back from Pienaar. It's broken for Jagielka, who's almost like an auxiliary striker at the moment. Hibbert. Need to be holding it up well. Well, they need to get it in the box now, Everton. They've got an opportunity to do so.
Well, it might just be the last attack of the match.
Song's got to be careful using his arms like that. Everton have another throw, or do they? No, it came off the Everton man, so it's Arsenal's, and that should mean that they see it through. Bendtner goes down, no free kick. Yobo, the layoff to Osman. Seconds remaining here. Jagielka. Couldn't force his cross into the box. Clichy gets it away. He's taken a risk, though. Jagielka takes it off him. The referee's already looked at his watch again. Baines to Yakubu. Final throw of the dice, this for David Moyes' side. Osman, can he get away? No, he can't. And that surely is the end of Everton's hopes. There's the final whistle. David Moyes and Everton know that their place in Europe is not secure. They could still get there, but they still need a point to be certain. They'll have to wait a week for that to happen, if it does. Arsene Wenger, well, Arsenal and he know that second place is still up for grabs for them now as a result of this victory given to them by Nicklas Bendtner's towering header for his 9th goal of the season. Arsenal have ended their home campaign on a high. Everton their away campaign on a low. And the crowd now will indulge, I'm sure, in the usual antics here for your final home game. A lap of honour assured for Arsenal. A European place not yet assured for Everton. It finished Arsenal 1, Everton 0.
Disappointed day for Everton would have done that. Nicholas Bendtner's goal has made him the Barclays man of the match. And it goes to the last day of the season for Everton. It is still theirs to lose. They're at home against Newcastle United. They would have to lose that, and Villa would still have to win at West Ham in order for them to take 5th place. So Everton, at the moment, although a point today would have made it secure, still comfortable. Still to come this afternoon, the second of our Super Sunday football matches. It's Liverpool against Manchester City next, and tomorrow, don't forget, Newcastle play Chelsea. If Chelsea slip up there, then Manchester United will retain their crown. 3:30 that starts. Both matches available in high definition on HD1, channel 408. David Platt is our guest here this afternoon, the former gunner. I was going to say centre forward. That doesn't quite do, though, by way of a description, does it? 1-0 Arsenal. Did Everton do enough to get something from that?
We said at half-time that I thought they'd done well in the first half. Defended very, very well, but also I think, at times when they won the ball, they took the game to Arsenal. I think in the second half, that ebbed away and they just defended, really. And allowed Arsenal, really, to not pour players forward, but get more and more players forward. And the longer the game went on, the more you thought, well, Arsenal are going to get something out of this, because they've got players that can obviously change a game.
Jens Lehmann we saw come on in the second half. I'm sure that was a sentimental goodbye to Arsenal for the German goalkeeper. There he is, being sent off, I think by William Gallas, was it? To say thanks, and to allow the Emirates to say thank you to him, David. As Alan Parry said, whatever your feelings about him, what is not an issue is the fact that he has been a very, very good goalkeeper, hasn't he?
He's been an exceptional goalkeeper, no doubt about it. I mean, there's been things he's done on the pitch, things he's said off the pitch, obviously. He's a strong character, I think. He says things sometimes before he thinks. Some of his
but you know what? Sometimes we criticise players for saying nothing. He at least has got an opinion, and he's been one of those happy to express it.
It is, but I think on the pitch as well, there are things that we don't necessarily agree with. But sometimes when players have got a personality, they have a personality in the dressing room. You have to take the flaws that come with it as well.